It is the final away test before Euro 2025. Denmark mean business here. Still there for Wales, good save. Is it over the line?
We should be having goal line technology. It's so obviously a goal.
Woodham goes for the shots. Van Schaal, Harder over the bar. Harder for 1-0. She walked through the Welsh defence. This time ball from James, it's a good one, Fishlock!
Yeah, she'll be really disappointed.
Well, how is that not 2-0? A lot of hard work out there tonight.
And that defeat to Denmark, sealing Wales's fate in League A of the Nations League. Relegated, so tonight against Italy in their final group game, they are playing for pride and it's preparation. The final run out before they head to Switzerland for their first major tournament. The Euros are now less than a month away. The countdown really is on. Yeah, a win would do wonders for Cymru's confidence, wouldn't it? Welcome to Swansea, by the way. This is the final stop before these three jet off on their Swiss tour over the summer. Evening all. Katie Sherwood, Danny Gabardon, Nia Jones. Good to see you. We just saw it there, didn't we, Danny? The goal that wasn't a goal, that actually was a goal. First of all, are we over it? And does Jess Fishlock have a point there? It needs to be better. It is the same for the men and the women in the Nations League, but with so much at stake, does she have a point?
She has a great point. I'm hoping the team are over it tonight. I certainly am not, by the way. It was so clearly a goal. I think Jess summed it up perfectly. I think what's riding on these games, Nations League games, opportunities to qualify for major tournaments, the technology needs to be there, it really does. The minimum goal line technology. Hopefully mistakes like this being highlighted will maybe kind of speed that process up and get that done a little bit quicker, but from Wales' point of view, really disappointing because obviously we would have taken the lead in that game.
And we'll never know what could have happened. It is another defeat for Wales. And interestingly, to hear Rhian Wilkinson agreeing with you this week, saying, yeah, coming close, I know, it's not good enough anymore. They need a scalp. They really need a big scalp now.
She wants to sign me up as a little technical coach for the Euros. That's also fine. Yeah, and I reflected on my comments after that, and I thought, was I a bit harsh? Because in hindsight, a team like Denmark's almost parking the bus after they'd scored a goal to protect the lead against Wales is a huge compliment and testament to the growth that we've seen under Wilkinson. But actually, it was a really similar performance from Wales to what we saw way back in February in Game 1 against Italy, where we start a half really slowly, we concede an avoidable goal, and then because we don't score many goals, that's no secret, we've only scored 3 so far in this campaign, we're always going to struggle to get back into games, never mind go on and actually win them. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more adaptation and growth from game to game and camp to camp, but great opportunity tonight to do that very thing. She started strongly. Italy, second lowest ranked team in the group. Nice home send-off.
Well, exactly. Does it come this evening? Have we timed this perfectly?
Yeah, it could be perfect timing. You can't underestimate this psychological boost it could have on the team if we get that win tonight. You know, we've been building consistent performances. It's now about turning those performances into results. Italy's going to be a really tough test. In the away fixture, they had 22 attempts on goal in comparison to our 7. So we know creating and converting chances, that's the gap that we need to now fill in order to be a top nation.
OK then, well let's hear from the Wales manager then, Rhian Wilkinson, who's been talking to our reporter this evening, Alex Richards.
Rhian, obviously it was disappointing to be relegated from League A on Friday night, but the bigger picture is the Euros. With that in mind, a final chance to build some momentum ahead of the summer. How much of a boost would a win be tonight?
I don't think we can shy away from that. Absolutely, we're going to be going for a win, especially at home in front of our home crowd. Last game before the Euros. I'm really excited for the fans to come out and see a wonderful version of ourselves, which we're hoping to deliver tonight.
Talk us through your team selection tonight then. 4 changes from the side that faced Denmark on Friday night.
Yeah, I think being pretty consistent and making sure that we've got a roster that can perform in different ways and give us different things. And the team that starts won't be the one that finishes. But looking forward for everyone getting an opportunity to show what they can deliver at the Euros.
You ran this Italy side close in Monza, but you've said yourself close isn't good enough. How do you get over the line tonight and get that win against this Italy side?
Well, I hope we can look back at the game and I'll let you know. But I think for me, it's to keep pushing, to keep demanding more from them, to not be content with just being close, because I think we have come a long way, but that's not what we're looking for. We want even more from the players, and they want more for themselves. So I'm looking forward to making sure that we close out this opportunity in Nations League A to give the best we possibly can in front of our home crowd.
Good luck tonight, Rian. Thanks for your time.
Right, dear.
Yeah, plenty of changes once again, 4 in all. No Jess Fishlock. Other than that, looking at that side, is that one you could see starting against the Netherlands in the first game of the Euros?
Absolutely, it's a strong team. You know, 1 or 2 injuries and a few players maybe coming back in. But for me, I love this approach. Someone may disagree with me, but I just think going into this last game now, there's no other game, so it's important that we keep building on those units, those partnerships. And we want to get a win. Like I say, that psychological boost going into the Euros. I'm really excited to see this team play tonight. And we know we've got a bench raring to go to make impact and bring energy.
Who would disagree with you, Nia?
Rian doesn't, we've established. No, I just think that those players who are starting tonight, rightly so, should believe that they're on the plane. We all know that they're on the plane. What you're not going to get then is an all-out guts and glory performance from them, because 3 or 4 weeks out, you don't want to get injured. Whereas there's players on the bench that, for me, when I've written my squad up, which I'm going to keep firmly in my back pocket, there's about 4 places up for grabs. There's a 3rd goalkeeper spot up for grabs between Kelly and Soper. I think there's question marks over the likes of Joel and Escort in midfield. Escort might narrowly beat her on experience in there and versatility. Esther Morgan needs another look at. Anna Philby has a really good profile midfield or defence. And also up front, Tiana Taser consistently been in squads and we've yet to see her cap. So I'm disappointed there's not any players starting tonight. We're really going to put their hand up and really go for it to try and get a spot on that plane.
That was beautiful with the Celtic horn in the background.
I organised that, yeah.
We've now got Zombie Nation. Zombie Nation playing as ever. Danny, what we did see this week was Sophie Ingle back training with Wales. Now we wait and see if she's fully fit, but it's good to see, isn't it?
So exciting to see her back. You know, I've suffered with long-term injuries myself as a player, and I know how difficult it is, those kind of periods, and that kind of feeling when you're back with a group and you're back out on the grass training again, there's no better feeling. So for her to be back in camp, fantastic boost for the squad, for the manager. Obviously the next few weeks for her are going to be really important. She's still got a lot of work to do, but she is a game changer for this team on the pitch and off the pitch. So fingers crossed the next few weeks go well, and I'm sure even an 80% Sophie Ingle will be on the plane against Switzerland, I'm sure.
I'm sure she'll be there. Well, they look ready for us, don't they? In the tunnel, can Wales win? Say goodbye with a few goals. This is it. This is the final farewell before the Swiss adventure. Let's go and join our commentary team for this evening's game then. Former Wales striker Gwennan Harris, who is alongside Simon Davis.
Yes, thank you, Catherine. Good evening. And here's hoping for a farewell party to remember before those Euros. And hopefully a first Welsh win in the top tier of the Nations League, despite relegation. Rian Wilkinson has gone strong tonight. We'll go through the team news in just a moment, but it's consistent with her desire to finally get a victory at this level. And what a boost it would be ahead of the big one in Switzerland. And that first game in Lucerne on July the 5th. The people of Swansea have come out in numbers to support the team who are off to the Euros. The thoughts of Gwennan Harris coming up after the national anthems. The Wilkinson Roadshow has come to Swansea on a final Nations League test before the big one for these Welsh history makers. Southampton's Alice Griffiths starts in place of the injured Maisie Davis, as she did early in the Denmark defeat. There are 4 Welsh changes in all. Jess Fishlock drops to the bench, along with Ella Powell and Ellis Hughes. And it's a new front line from that Danish game. Rachel Rowe, Hannah Kane and Carrie Jones. Everton's Hayley Ladd drops back from midfield to defence, a position where she plays so comfortably. Tonight's referee, Eleni Antoniou, leading a team of all Greek match officials. And like the Denmark game, no goal line technology tonight. Let's hope there are no controversial calls to make. Well, plenty of young supporters in bucket hats from West Wales and beyond. And what a treat they have in store this evening. Wales still after that first victory in this level. Certainly not going to be easy against the Italians. Then we see a Hannah James and her counterpart, Christine Girelli, the 2 captains in this final group game.
Side. Okay. Balla Italia.
Italy have dropped Juventus's Barbara Bonensea, who scored the winner against Wales back in February. In comes the vastly experienced Christina Girelli and her Juventus teammate Martina Lenzini. Also coming in, Milan's Angelika Sofia. In 3 changes from that 0-0 draw with Sweden. Italy need to win to avoid any chance of relegation. Wales will need this togetherness, not just to finish this Nations League campaign, but as they head on a Swiss adventure under the tutelage of Ria Wilkinson and the European Championships. Hannah Kane back in the team, one of 3 goal scorers for Wales in this Nations League campaign. Scored that memorable equaliser in Gothenburg against Sweden. Then we see Christina Girelli, the Italian captain, winning her 117th cap this evening, a Juventus player who scored 56 goals for a country. And Carrie Jones, who will forget her winning goal in Dublin, which sealed Wales' place at Euro 2025. It's a final top-tier test before the European Championships. The people of West Wales have come out to see these history makers. It's a Swansea send-off for Switzerland, and one last chance for a Welsh crowd to support Wales, Gwennon Harris, before the Euros.
Yeah, what a game to come and support as well. As you said, last game before the Euros, but a really competitive game. Italy obviously trying to stay within the group, not be in that third place where they'd have to have a relegation playoff. And for Wales looking to get that first victory in the group.
One clearance from Giuliani. First touch for the Italian goalkeeper. Here's Alice Griffiths back to Hayley Ladd, who slots into that back four perfectly. Has been playing predominantly as a midfielder under Ria Wilkinson, but is vastly experienced at the back as well, the Everton player. First touch for Rowe. Through to Kane. The keeper's committed. Calmly away by Sofia, one of the new inclusions in this Italian side who have recorded mixed results so far in this Nations League group. It's an early ball in from Severini, easy one for Clark to deal with, but we've seen both the best and worst of Italy at times in Group A4.
Yeah, I think just even in that opening passage there, Wales just needing to be aware. Holland and Green stepped up a little bit too high, got caught the wrong side of the ball, then on that right-hand side. Italy will adopt a similar approach defensively. They'll slot back into a back 5, as will Wales. But when they're in possession, again, as with Wales, they go to a back 3 and they'll push their wing-backs further forward.
We're already hearing that Sweden have got an early goal against Denmark in their game. And we talk about early goals. But Wales have conceded a fair few of them, it's fair to say, in this Nations League.
Yeah, they have, and it's actually quite an interesting stat that the goals that Wales have conceded, or the first goals in every game that Wales have conceded, have come in the first 15 minutes of halves. Obviously, second half on Friday night. That's something that Wales need to be very, very aware of, something that they need to improve. Interestingly, Liam Wilkinson said about the importance of bringing in that sports psychologist, and I'm sure the nerves will be there on the 5th of July in that opening game against the Netherlands, and it'll be about how they can control their nerves and ensure that they stay within the game in that opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's all becoming very real now, those European Championships. Italy, ranked 14th in the world. Good clearance from Severini. Met by Gemma Evans. Jones. Rachel Rowe getting hold of the ball, but it was Hannah Kane who was fouled. And a free kick for Wales.
Yeah, and I think the importance of the positions and the spaces, the distances between the attacking players, Rowe, Kane, Carrie Jones as well, so that they can interlink. We've seen one or two little glimpses in the first 3 minutes of that quick 1-2 touch play. That'll be really, really important, because Hannah Kane is a completely different type of forward to Elise Hughes that we saw on Friday evening, who can bring players in. She's more of a target person.
Lily Woodham took most of the set pieces out in Denmark in Odense. We'll take this free kick. High defensive line from Italy here. Woodham's delivery, it's a deft one, and the header safely by Rowe into the hands of the goalkeeper Giuliani. It's a quick release, and Clark had to deal with it. Had to take evasive action because Cantori had made a bursting run. And Italy, well, that will be an offside flag against Cantori, but there was no doubt that she was onside for the initial one-on-one that she had.
Yeah, she was definitely off for that last one. Or maybe not, actually. From where we looked, it was very, very close. But again, just what we were talking about a couple of minutes ago, just the importance, the concentration, the focus in the early stages of both halves, and we've seen that just straight away. A direct pass from Giuliani in goal, and Wales are under a huge amount of pressure.
From Lenzini looking for Girelli, away by Rowe. Huge draw for Rachel Rowe on her return to Swansea. And this back to Giuliani. Well, it's an entirely new front line from Liam Wilkinson compared to that Denmark defeat. Kane and Rowe and Jones, certainly different types of forward to the likes of Elise Hughes and Kaylee Barton, who we've seen in this campaign.
Yeah, I think interestingly about the team selection, I agree with Nia, actually, what she said before the game. I was expecting maybe a couple of changes, players fighting for their final positions in the squad, but having reflected on it already, I think it's probably more a case of Wilkinson looking at the final starting places for that opening game.
Cantori has got Girelli in support, good tackle by Gemma Evans. And no risk taken by Josie Green. Good to see Olivia Clark recovered. She was in a bit of trouble at one stage in that game in Odense. Stayed down after a decision. She did seem to have bruising around her eye.
Yeah, she's got a good shiner there, to be fair. I think Lauren Price would be impressed with that one. Just interesting, she's Wales are defending already. You see, when Italy got possession, as we expected them to go into a back five, they're not. They're going into a back four. Kerry Holland's keeping higher up.
Well, Wales have a corner. The pressure on Oliviero has given the Wales the opportunity of the set piece. But she had a lot of time, Oliviero. She was on under pressure, the Sampdoria player. And just heard that Sweden gone 2-0 up against Denmark. So early goals in the other Nations League game in this group. And Wales follow suit here with Holland. The referee spotted something she doesn't like. Keeper completely surrounded in that 6-yard area. Holland's gone short to Jones. Delivery, it's close to the goalkeeper, but Italy had to take action. It's back out to Holland. Right-footed delivery, could go anywhere. Josie Green comes out to James on the volley. Still there for Kane, and that's a handball. Well, I'm not sure how much Josie Green knew about that, as the ball was fired into her in that 6-yard area.
No, there's a couple of good deliveries in, firstly by Jones and then Holland trying to dig that out, trying to get some curl back. And that's probably the reason why she's more of a defender, if I'm honest. Just maybe not anticipating in that area. And Hannah James seemed to have technically caught the volley. It was a good block on the edge of the box.
We've mixed it up, Wales, in terms of that set piece. Here's Giuliano. And Sophia is carrying down that left-hand side. And wins her side of corner.
Well, I'll tell you what, Italy and half-back bombing a lot of players forward. You know, they get plenty of numbers in support in the box. At one moment there was actually 5 against 3. It's good defending in the end to restrict the damage.
Giuliano's turn this time. This her 89th cap. The Roma player, formerly of Milan. And it is a packed penalty area, a packed 6-yard box. Clark surrounded, Clark commits herself. Well, it's in. It was too crowded, the penalty area, and Linari puts it in. And once again, Wales have conceded an early goal in the Nations League.
Well, it's a very similar tactic adopted by Italy, where they're packing that 6-yard but putting a lot of pressure on Olivia Clark. We see her trying to fight to come through. In the end, she's in absolute no man's land, if I'm honest, and then it's too close to her, she can't react quick enough.
Well, what did we say about early goals, Gwenan?
Yeah, I think it was Hannah James then just lost Linari on the back post as well. Just not tight enough. Look, you can see she's jumped unaware of where she is, but Olivia Clark, you know, you really want your goalkeeper to come out and try and deal with that. There's a lot of bodies in the area, which makes it very, very difficult. Got to be more physical. And as you said, just once again, Wales making it more difficult for themselves with that early goal.
Well, that's the disappointing thing. Only barely 8 minutes into the game and Wales have conceded. And it's usually at this stage where we have seen Wales settle, but it's only after conceding early on as Kane tries to improvise. And that is something that Wales will want to iron out before the Euro, surely.
Yeah, I think it's just been a pattern, isn't it? Just maybe, I'm not sure if it's nerves, but the opening 10 minutes, Wales have always been under a huge amount of pressure. I think they've probably had the best start here in terms of trying to get a little bit of territory in Italy's half. They've been boxed in a lot of other games. It's just that focus, just knowing your roles and responsibilities. For example, from a corner, the player that you're marking, you're touch tight, that's your player, your responsibility.
Chiarelli lost out on the header. Centre back Lenzini, the goal scorer. Well, it was Linari, sorry, who got the goal, but Lenzini there just competing. But Italy just packed that penalty area. And the amount of bodies was something that Wales couldn't deal with in the end. And lots for Rhian Wilkinson to mull over on the laptop. Griffiths giving away the free kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I thought she got the ball. I've been really impressed with Alice Griffiths actually when she's come in. The role she's played obviously hugely important in the victory against Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, to send Wales to Switzerland. I thought she did well when she came on against Denmark as well. A bit of physicality, but some great through balls as well, just breaking lines.
Oliviero. Caruso. In Italy, it's quite noticeable just how quickly they break, or they look to break, when they win possession. And here they go again. Chance for Giuliano to cross. And a good header from Green. Holland to bring it away. Wales' turn to counter-attack. There is no doubt that Kerry Holland plays a key role in that regard.
Yeah, she certainly does. She's always a willing runner. But Josie Green, for me, just how she's grown into the role this last year. It was a hugely important, vital header, and a difficult one as well when you're under pressure. But she's got her body angles right. And this is good from Wales. I would like to see him just get a little bit of possession. Or kick it away as I say that, but just grow into the game, just settle back in, control the tempo.
Coolly done by Ladd to dispossess Girelli. A loose pass, which is kept in well by Holland. And here's Clark. Ladd of Everton. And Evans of Liverpool. Harry Jones. Surrounded. And Italy break in earnest with Cantore. Good tackle from Gemma Evans. Time to perfection. Still a bit nervy from Wales in this opening 12 minutes, as Evans will let this one out for a goal kick. Well, no goal line technology, but I can tell you that was over the line.
Yeah, well, she was sure this line's woman, wasn't she? But
how about this for a tackle?
Well, if I'm honest, it's her speciality. You know, she is quick, but she's really effective in timing the slide tackle.
Delivery from Clark to Jones, out jumped by Lenzini. Cantore, Caruso. Options in the middle. And it is a corner. Gemma Evans again with the interception.
Yeah, she's been dragged out a lot, isn't she? Because Lily Woodham has been dragged further up the pitch. It's imperative that Wales just keep possession of the ball 3-4 times already. And Wales are trying to build up, trying to get rid of that pressure and get themselves higher up the pitch. The ball keeps coming straight back because they can't get hold of the ball.
Well, there's the goal scorer, Linari. No doubt will be a target again. It's a bit more sparsely populated, the penalty area this time around. It's Giuliano who put it in. Giuliano's corner. Important header again from Josie Green, and that will be straightforward for Clark. Well, we've seen a lot of Josie Green in this opening quarter. Has been called into defensive action on a number of occasions.
Yeah, just Wales obviously adopted more of a zonal approach from the corners. Obviously that was an outswinger, so it was a bit easier in that sense than from where the goal came from, which was an in-swinger coming towards Olivia Clark and the goal, which is more difficult.
Kane, Woodham, Evans, the throw. Has been a common theme in this Nations League that Wales have conceded early on, then settled and looked to get back in the game, but they're always coming from behind, and that has been the problem. They've certainly competed in this Nations League, and Rhian Wilkinson said as much after the Denmark game. The games have been close. As she said, to use her words, close is not always good enough.
No, just not being content with being close, and that shows the ambition, and rightly so as well. You don't want to be staying still, do you? But I do feel there has been a progression, I'll be honest, within the group. I think sometimes there needs to be a little bit of a reality with just the situation that Wales are in. You know, you've got to remember that we're years behind the development of a lot of other nations because of funding, etc. And when we have then, obviously, you know, fair play the FAW, at one point I think we were probably, for the revenue that we get in, were the highest spending on the women's team, but everybody else is improving as well, so we're still playing catch up. And we've got to identify your strengths, but I think we've been really competitive. We've been in every single game in this Nations League, which is a huge improvement from the last time we were in League A.
Actually, the last time that Wales played in Swansea was a Nations League game, a 0-0 draw against Germany, December 2023. It's the end of the Gemma Granger era. Caruso letting it go out for a throw-in. Italy have had mixed results so far in the Nations League. They did beat Wales in Monza, losing to Denmark and Sweden, and then a 3-0 win in Denmark before the goalless draw against Sweden.
Yeah, they're a good team. I feel like they go under the radar a little bit because they haven't won anything, if they haven't won a major tournament. But you know, let's not forget they've just reached the Euros for the 8th time in a row. You know, they're always in the major tournaments. They've been in 4 World Cups. It was more, I think, a case of the investment coming to improve in the league system, which we've seen now. You know, they'll have 3 teams going into qualification for the Champions League, and you can see that with Wales. We only have 1.
Great vision from Rowe, and Holland's away. Holland looking for Jones. Just got the ball caught under her feet. But a blistering attack from Kerry Holland, and how many times have we said that in this campaign?
Yeah, and what I love most about this, Simon, is the quality of the cross. As a forward player, a former forward player, coming into those areas, you want to be able to firstly be running onto a position that you can attack, as Carrie Jones does, and then it's about the quality of the crossing. You just notice how she keeps it along the floor, so if it does get to Carrie Jones then, and she times it well, she can hit that first time, which is a nightmare for any goalkeeper to be able to have to react on a first touch finish. Superb cross and delivery, the weight of it from Kerry Holland.
There is an argument for saying that Kerry Holland is, or has been, the player of the campaign for Wales at times. Certainly creates a lot going forward. Here's Rowe. There are those creative attacking players. Cantore. To Lenzini. Riviero. Italy's turn to just keep hold of the ball here, but that Holland burst, just a glimpse of what Wales are capable of against top teams. Forward to Torre. Oliviero. Has beaten Woodham, who commits the foul.
I think it was just a little tug on the shirt, but Italy winning every single second ball. They're first to everything. And they're picking up on their movements, and they really are pushing numbers. The midfield runners are running off the shoulders of Harry James and Alice Griffiths, and it's going 1-for-1 defending, really. When I looked across then, Kerry Holland was pegged back, and it was literally 5 attackers against the defensive 5 from Wales' point of view. So they've got a lot to pay for, as we've already mentioned.
Salvai with her arms in the air, calling for this one. This free kick from Giuliano. Full concentration needed by Wales. Giuliano's delivery to dangerous one, and it's 2-0. The captain Girelli with a glancing header, and another set piece, another goal for Italy, and it's 2-0.
That's another set piece that undoes Wales. There's 2 pieces of quality, if I'm honest, from an Italian perspective. The delivery into a great area to start with. Oof, that was close as well, because they were originally offside. And then the glancing header, you know, that's a really difficult skill. She just uses the pace on the ball and just directs it, as you should do, down, make it difficult for Olivia Clark, and into the far corner.
The 57th goal for Italy. The captain Girelli.
It's just disappointing again for me from a Welsh perspective. Nobody's tight enough. Who's taking responsibility in these situations?
Well, let's go pitch side. And Danny Gabardon, former Wales defender, 2-0, a real mountain to climb now for Wales, Danny.
Yeah, unfortunately, Simon, it's been a little bit of a theme of the Nations League for Wales, going behind in games, going behind in the first 15 minutes of games, and the real disappointment, obviously, 2 goals from set pieces. You know, I don't think in general play the team have been too bad in the opening 20 minutes, in particular when we can get the ball to Kerry Holland. She looks really dangerous, but I think Rhian Wilkinson will be really disappointed with the manner of the defending from the 2 set pieces. So hopefully we can work our way back into this game, Simon, but making it a difficult task right now.
Yeah, difficult task, and if you can get back to 2-1, and the old cliche going in about it being a dangerous lead, but at the moment, Italy firmly in charge.
Yeah, I'd agree, but what I would say as well is, in that aspect, set pieces should be easy fixes if you're working on it, if you're reviewing the tapes, and again, just taking responsibility. Your job as one member of the team. So they should be able to hopefully fix them. They should be able to fix them on the pitch themselves. You know, there's enough experience there.
Clark's ball met by Italy, but it's back to Ladd. Drives it forward to Kane. The flick on, doesn't meet Jones, only Lenzini. And Giuliani, the goalkeeper, can take her time with this. Well, Girelli at her 57th goal for Italy. Torre goes through. That's a close one from Clark, but did well to read it. But it is the set pieces that have undone Wales, more so than the counter-attacks from Italy at this stage.
Yeah, what I do like about the Italians is they're willing to run in behind the stretch of defence, and when you do that, obviously you create a lot more spaces then in between lines, where a lot of their other players then, like Caruso, likes to play.
One for Kane to chase. Likes to play off the shoulder of the last defender, but Salvai dealt with her there. Remember that goal in Gothenburg, which was certainly the best of Hannah Kane, running onto a through ball and finishing well. Well, there we see Sophie Ingle, and to the left of her, Rhiannon Roberts. Two players we dearly hope will be on the plane to Switzerland, Gwenan. And Sophie's progress has been described as encouraging by Rhian Wilkinson. Of course, we're still awaiting news on Rhiannon's injury.
It's hugely pleasing to see her back in that environment, isn't it? Obviously, I think everybody's enjoyed having her part of the team and doing her media work, but everybody wanted to see her on the pitch more than anything. And even just looking at the clips, you know, the way she's talking with Poppy Soper and Rhiannon Roberts around her, just in terms of tactical details, you can see just the experience that she brings would be vital out of Switzerland.
And Rhian Wilkinson paying tribute to Chelsea for the way that they've helped her rehab, despite her leaving the London Giants. Jones, Griffiths, Evans. Well, trying to work something here on their left. Surely Jones was held there. Evans finding Green in space. Holland to the right of her. Tries to find Kane. Just that final ball so far, the issue for Wales.
I think it's just the hold-up play. Italy are really, really aggressive when they're defending. They're very good in that one-on-one. They're not diving in unless they have to. They're making it difficult. They're forcing Wales back when Wales do gain possession. But when they think they can pinch it, they come in, as we've seen quite a few times now with Lunari and Salvai at the centre-halves. And Wales are struggling to get a platform then into the game consistently. Yes, on one or two occasions, but just need to be there more regularly.
Good touch from Severini has prompted another Italian attack. Caruso, Cantore, finds space to shoot. Straight at Clark. It's another corner.
Well, she caught hold of that, didn't she? Just too much space to me. Somebody needs to be coming out. I think it's Kerry Holland working all the way across from the opposite wing, and Olivia Clark as well. She gets her body behind the ball, take no risks.
There you can see that bruised eye from Olivia Clark, caused in the Danish game. Caruso, bending cross, which actually hit the back post, the stanchion, if you will, and out for a goal kick. Yeah, thankfully she is okay, Olivia Clark. We were a bit concerned in Oense.
I thought it was her neck, if I'm honest. I wasn't aware that she'd taken such a knock to the face.
Well, there's so much to play for at this stage, not just in the Nations League, but book your place to Switzerland. I mean, she would be in the squad anyway But although the performance of Safia Middleton-Patel out in Sweden shows that there is strength and depth in this Wales team, perhaps more so than we thought before Rhian Wilkinson took charge. Here's Jones. It is all about getting the next generation through. Oliviero. Cantore. Oliviero's got space. And on that near post, Giuliano snatched at it. Again, too easy for Italy.
Yeah, they're running off the shoulders again. They've just seen... It's just too easy to be able to run in behind on quite a few occasions. Wales not tracking them. So if they are, they're reactive instead of being proactive.
There's good interchange by Oliviero and Cantore coming over to this bottom of your screen, the Welsh left. Lenzini. Oliviero. There's a confidence about Italy at 2-0 up. Giuliano has gone long this time, and Cantore is on, but Hayley Ladd does what Hayley Ladd does and allows Olivia Clark to come and collect. He may have taken unfortunately, another blow to the face. But Hayley Ladd certainly read the ball well.
Yeah, and we just see now, just watch the way Cantore has positioned herself between Woodham and Evans. Somebody has to take responsibility then when she's running behind, because Hayley Ladd's left with two, and I could just see that Hayley Ladd's left knee just making contact with Clark, obviously not on purpose, or right knee.
Oh, and it was on that bruised eye as well. Well, there we see Safia Middleton-Patel, just in between Charlie Escord and Kayleigh Barton there, reserve goalkeeper of Manchester United. What a game she had out in Sweden, by the way. So, if called upon, then she'll certainly do a job.
Oh, she was exceptional out in that game, to be fair to her. I think it's just more about, putting pressure on. Obviously, you need to have consistency as a goalkeeper, don't you, in the starting lineup, but you want to be pushed, knowing that, if you're making mistakes, your position's going to be gone. And I think Safia did a very, very good job.
Well, there is a stoppage. Here are the goals, Gwenan.
Yeah, well, we were second to every single contact there, weren't we? The in-swinger, as I said, is a lot more difficult to deal with. And then you can't afford Girelli, play of her quality. She's had 56 goals prior to this evening, 57 now. That amount of space in that area, I mean, credit to her, it's a superb finish, as I said, just using the pace off the delivery and directing it into the far bottom corner.
Well, there's a chap who knows a thing or two about goalkeeping, the great Neville Southall. Great to see Olivia Clark back on her feet, but yeah, Neville Southall often seen at the women's games, great supporter of this team, and what a keeper he was, by the way. And on the issue of goalkeepers, as Laura O'Sullivan-Jones for Wales, already without her for Switzerland, unfortunately, due to an ACL.
Yeah, she's had surgery, I think it's 5 weeks ago now, coming up to 5 weeks, but really pleasing to see her here, watching in the stands, obviously on crutches, but here supporting the girls. I know she's been into camp for a couple of days as well. I wish her well in her recovery. An unfortunate timing for anybody that gets injured at this stage of the season, and obviously building up to, it's going to be a historic summer for Wales.
Yeah, and Laura's played a massive part in the development of this team over the last decade or so. We all remember that performance against England, goes down in history. And she will have a role in Switzerland, according to Rhian Wilkinson, which is nice to hear. Griffiths with the header, Woodham gets a foot in. Not just struggling to get hold of the ball here, and there is an Italian player down, and again more treatment needed. It's Giuliano just holding the back of the right leg there. You see Andrea Soncin, the Italian coach, appointed back in September 2023. Of course, Italy have a Euro campaign as well to look forward to, so they don't want any serious injuries themselves, much like Wales.
No, she's holding the back of her. She looked like she was holding the back of her leg, so I was hoping it wasn't an Achilles injury, because that's a long-term injury as well if you rupture that tendon.
Let's speak to Nia Jones, part of our team with Catherine and former Wales defender. And Nia, what have Wales got to do, do you think, to really get back in this game?
Well, I think it looks a little bit laboured for me at the minute. It's actually really positive to see Rachel Rowe on screen now, being vocal and showing some leadership and really trying to organise maybe some of those less experienced ones around her. I'm not seeing a huge amount of drive from the girls at the minute, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but 2 set-piece goals, I'm really looking for who is taking charge of those situations, who is being vocal, who's guiding others, who is really showing in their body language and with their voices that they do not want to concede another goal at home on their last game before heading to the Euros. And I'd love to see a little bit more of a high press as well. We've got some tremendous athletes out on the pitch. The pace of Jones, Kane and Holland, and the likes, energy levels of Rowe, they could frighten the life out of Italy if they actually start putting a little bit of pressure on instead of a laboured shadow movement. So they need to show a little bit of something different. 10 minutes before half-time, get themselves back into it, otherwise they've got a mountain to climb.
Yes, thank you, Nia. Plenty for Rhian Wilkinson to think about at half-time if it stays like this. Well, here's Oliviero with the run of Cantore. Evans guides it out for a goal kick. And for Italy, they have a Euros campaign to look forward to as well, of course, and Belgium, Portugal and Spain will be their opponents in Switzerland. Clark, the pressure from Girelli, one of the goal scorers. Jones with a flick on the Woodham. Touch from Oliviero. Kane not giving up on a lost cause.
Yeah, forcing the error. That's what Nia just said in terms of having a little bit more intent in that press. Can you go and do it higher and force Italy to either play around you, or, and fair play to them if they can do that 1-2 touch, or they're going to make mistakes and going to force the errors, win the ball back in a better area of the pitch.
Just saw the Barry Horns there, providing the atmosphere just when Wales teams need it. And it was they weren't blowing that Celtic horn that we saw earlier. That makes a fair old racket. And no doubt they will provide the soundtrack in Switzerland as well. Here's Holland, who might have the beating of the Italian defence, and that's cynical from Sofia. And the Greek referee is going to display a card here. Surely she needs to display a card.
Yeah, you've just seen the pace and the drive of Kerry Holland there when she's in full flow. There's not many in the game that are going to stop her. And I think she had to, didn't she? Kerry Holland in an area there that was great from an attacking perspective, from a Welsh perspective. And she just takes one for the team, as we always used to say, knowing that she's helping her team out of danger.
Beaten for pace by the dangerous Kerry Holland. And the first yellow card for Sofia, who plays for Milan. Holland is just questioning where the placement of the free kick should be.
Oh, it was far further forward than that, wasn't it, when you look at it now? You could actually see a little divot come up from where Kerry Holland fell.
Well, I don't know how good Kerry Holland's Greek is, or Lily Woodham's for that matter, but all is placed a bit further back. Yeah, better than mine, certainly. What can Wales do from here? Can they make Italy pay from a set piece, as Wales have twice suffered already? Holland delivers it at back post. Evans had made the run too close to Giuliani.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too close, isn't it? You tend to go with, it's more of an outswinging ball. It's just going away from the goalkeeper. So you need to just try and lure her in, Giuliani, but not as close as that, so it gives Wales an opportunity.
Giuliani. Taking her time here, the flag keeper, her 97th cap. fair bit of experience in this Italian team. Again, a late challenge on Kerry Holland from Sophia, who's got to be careful here. Already received a yellow card. Back to Clark. Pressure from Girelli. Pops for Evans. Clark slightly out of position from a goal mouth. It's made its way to Jones. Free kick Wales. Haven't seen an awful lot of activity to our left in that Italian half, and that is something that Rhian Wilkinson will want to put right.
Yeah, most certainly, but I think it's about Wales being able to, that was better from Carly Jones, being able to keep hold of possession. It can be really difficult when you're in those areas, you've got your back to goal, but it's a skill that's really important with Rachel Rowe now. But then they need runners off them. Wales, because in my opinion, sometimes are a bit standstill, they're a bit static. You need runners running off them to give them different options.
Difficult back pass from Kane. Put Giuliani under pressure. I think the Italian keeper did well, in fact, under the circumstances. A nightmare ball back to her. Woodham's ball will go out for a goal kick.
I think it's the positions for me of number 18 Caruso and 14 Severini for Italy that are causing Wales the biggest problems when Italy look to play out from the back. They drift a little bit wider to try and join the front. Sorry, they start a little bit wider, but then they drift inside in like that pocket of space, the half spaces between the defence and midfield. And Wales then is 3 against 3. There needs to be better communication.
Rachel Rowe with the cross. Mentioned Rachel Rowe much in this first half, which is rare. Usually a lot of Wales's attacks go through her. Here's Cantore. Did well. Evans stayed with her and gives away the free kick. Now Evans been called across here. I don't think there's anything more than a talking to.
No, she's a warning, I think. She's used to more than a few of them. You see the shirt pull there, just because she got a little bit too tight. Cantore then with a good piece of skill to be able to turn. And obviously she's the wrong side then.
Another free kick for Italy. This time on Harry James, the culprit. The Wales captain.
But for me, Simon, that's actually, I'm pleased to see a little bit of that. Good as well from Angharad James as the captain, leading by example. I want to see a little bit more aggression. Make it more difficult for the Italians.
Giuliani. Did for Sophia. Girelli. Just trying to keep it in play. Well, Wales perhaps thought it had gone out there, but Girelli continues her run into Cantore! 3-0. Game over now, surely. All 3 goals in this first half have been avoidable, but take nothing away from Italy's finishing. It's 3-0.
I've mentioned quite a few times in the first half about the Italians being able to run off the back shoulder. And we'll see it again here. Obviously, there's a mistake there. Uncharacteristic from Josie Green. But look at the space that Cantore has afforded. Wales are ball watching. Hayley Ladd is the furthest, the closest side. So obviously, if somebody's going to come across her, she's expecting a call. She's trying to get back into position. Gemma Evans, no idea where her player is. Lily Woodham at the back post. Is there a communication issue there, maybe? But these are just basic errors that we've not seen Wales make of late. You know, they've been really developing in that area, and so really disappointed to see such simple goals being conceded at any level. You can't leave that amount of space, especially at international level.
Well, this wasn't the send-off that Wales had planned for the Euros, and maybe some of the Welsh players could be guilty of thinking ahead to the Euros. I'm sure Rhian Wilkinson will say that's not the case, but at 3-0, Wales certainly have a mountain to climb now.
Well, there's 3 defenders in the studio, so it'll be interesting to see their points of view in terms of just, you know, the goals that have been conceded, the little dark arts that can be done, the blocking off the ball, etc. That I always, as a forward, used to get. I was on the receiving end of, which made it more difficult for me to get into areas to be able to exploit. Wales just haven't been very streetwise this evening in those. Well, not tight enough to start with, but not streetwise either.
Well, the cross did take a huge deflection, but you're right, Gwen, in the space that Cantore had. He finished well with a header, no doubt about that.
Yeah, but
she was unmarked.
They've been running off the back. What Italy are doing really well, as I mentioned, you know, they're running in behind, so they're trying to stretch the back line. But then they'll have a contrasting movement. Someone will come into the little pocket of space, and it is difficult. It's really difficult for the 3 central defenders at the minute, and they needed maybe a little bit more support off the 2 midfielders in front. But the movements are really difficult for them to be able to match. So again, that comes down to communication, just passing your players on, and your body position as well, to be open to see both ball and player.
Salvai. Caruso's given it away to Wooden. Jones. Wooden's cross just skews it wide. Half-time needed for Wales here. Big team talk ahead for Rhian Wilkinson. What will the message be? Win the second half, at least now 3-0 down. It's a huge scoreline to try and overcome.
Yeah, should definitely be expecting an improvement in the performance. It'll be interesting to see what changes she makes and how quickly she makes them. Because, yeah, as I mentioned at the start of the programme, I feel maybe that she's looking with this lineup at actually her starting lineup for that opening game against the Netherlands in Lucerne on the 5th of July, instead of maybe looking at the squad. She's probably decided on all those places, depending on 1 or 2 injuries, who's making that starting 11, and a few players maybe writing their way in, a few players maybe writing their way out of that starting 11.
Ladd. Clark. And it's a scoreline that Wales haven't been used to in this Nations League so far. They've really been in games for the most part. Rachel Rowe has had probably her quietest half in a long time. Kane battling for it and wins a free kick for her efforts. Not sure if Giuliano agrees. By the way, elsewhere, Sweden 4-1 up against Denmark. So lots of goals on the final day. What can Wales do? Another free kick from a deep position. Without Wooden will stand over this, or maybe Kerry Holland. Nasty fall from Hannah Kane.
Yeah, what she does well there is she gets it, that nearest leg across, just gets her body in the way, uses her body well to get to the ball first.
Holland's free kick. It was Ladd on that back post. Couldn't quite generate the power.
You just see a planned move. I think it was aiming for Gemma Evans, actually spins round, makes the move, doesn't quite get there. Hayley Ladd gets the first contact, but there's no pace on the header. She's moving backwards. Just see there, you know, she can't generate enough power. They want to go back across goal.
Hayley Ladd just given away a free kick. And Italy in no hurry to take this. We're into 3 minutes of added time. And 3 goals for Italy, Gwenan. Perhaps we didn't expect this.
Well, no, we mentioned about the start of games, didn't we? Well, you've got to give Italy credit. They are a good side. As I said, I think that they're underestimated at times.
Cantore! Great save from Clark. Could have so easily have been a 4th had it not been for the goalkeeping of Olivia Clark. But great improvisation from Cantore.
Oh, it's 2 superb pieces of skill. Firstly from Cantore, especially the way that her body actually isn't facing at the goal, so she's trying to connect with the outside of her foot to take it away from Olivia Clark, and then that's just a really good instinctive a strong left hand.
That's an excellent save from an excellent volley.
Yeah, she moves her feet well as well, doesn't she? And I hope, well, I am going to sound like that negative Nelly here. Again, just really disappointing that it's a direct ball over the top. They're running off the shoulders far too easily. And Wales are outnumbered. They're not getting that first ball, that first contact then.
I don't think you'd be too negative. I think it's a fair point to make, because we've not been used to seeing that sort of deficiency from Wales in this Nations League so far. I think that will concern Rhian Wilkinson.
Yeah, I think she'd just be surprised maybe at obviously from the first 2 goals of set pieces. As I mentioned, you know, who's taking responsibility. Well, she'd be dying to get on the pitch. And I think sometimes just her presence helps the teams, especially in trying to keep possession. We saw that in the Sweden game up in Wrexham, just the presence of having Fishlock on the pitch and the way she can just manipulate the ball and just be able to get Wales into the game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Elise Hughes the way that she played on Friday evening.
There we see Kayleigh Barton to the left of Fishlock as well.
Yeah, it's great to see her back as well after her recent hamstring injury.
When you talk about hold-up play as a striker, Kayleigh Barton is, well, that's a key part of her game for Wales.
Yeah, and it's important to have different options. You know, Barton likes to be able to run in behind as well. She tries to offer a little bit of everything. I think Elise Hughes maybe it is far more of a focal point, sorry, that you can work off. But Wales have got those options now. I mean, if you had a penalty as well.
Olivia Clark back on her feet, but is being walked off the pitch here. Well, her last action was a spectacular save. And it means that Safia Middleton-Patel, well, a player not short of confidence, put in a wonderful display in Gothenburg, and there you can see this sorry face of Olivia Clark. It's sad to see that her evening comes to an end after such a spectacular save. But what a chance for this youngster, who we talk about in such glowing terms. I think we were all impressed with that game out in Sweden.
Definitely for her age as well, but she's got straight into action here.
Well, we're over the 3 minutes, but that is because of the stoppage for Clark. And Wales try to avoid conceding a fourth here. Giuliano's delivery, it is 4! Another set piece, and the captain Girelli is celebrating again. Wales have conceded 4 in the first half here in Swansea.
And Middleton-Patel's first job, unfortunately for her, is to pick the ball out of her net without even touching it. Just see, obviously you can see Wales' zonal marking. I've never been a fan, because you can get a run on the ball. Just see the way Girelli attacks the ball. It's taking a deflection, look, that's taking it away from Middleton-Patel. She beats Josie Green, and I think it just flicks off Carrie Jones' shoulder, which leaves Middleton-Patel with absolutely no chance. But I've got to be honest, I cannot remember the last time Wales conceded so many goals.
Well, 3 from set pieces. And 3 of them headers. And it is half-time, and it's been a first half to forget in this final game before the Euros. Lots for Rhian Wilkinson to talk about. Linari got the first. Caruso got in on the act, and 2 goals for the captain Girelli. And Wales have been thumped in this first half. Wales 0, Italy 4.
Well, Wales conceded early once again after just 8 minutes, and Italy, they doubled the lead around the 20-minute mark. A third followed. Cantore, the scorer of this one. There's been a fourth as well. Wales relieved to reach half-time. They now have a mountain to climb. Let's have a little look at the stats, shall we, from that first 45 minutes. And, well, Italy have dominated possession, and also look at the attempts of goal. They are coming, I'm sure, but as you can tell, 4-0 down. Italy have been the main team in it. Here they are at last. Italy, 7 shots, 6 on target, 4 goals. Wales, they haven't really been in it, have they? 4 shots, only 2 on target. They don't have a goal at half-time. Well, this is not going to plan, is it? The final farewell, and Wales, to say they are in a spot of bother is an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah, we built this game up as, you know, the game, build that momentum, we want to finish on a high, and it's definitely not going to plan. We talk about the defensive discipline and structures that we have in place, the progress we've made with that, and this is really out of character for us to concede 4 goals, at half-time. We haven't seen this performance in a long time from this group.
Yeah, Wales have conceded 4, as you say. They haven't done that in a long time. But luckily, we have 3 former defenders who can talk us through the issues here in the Wales defence. Let's have a look at the first goal then. It comes from a set piece. It's another early goal conceded, Danny.
It is, and they work this really well. You see that kind of initial run from Cantore just to take Hannah Kane away from that near post space. We then struggle to obviously clear our lines, and it's a really kind of good finish. And you have to give a lot of credit to Italy in that first half, because the runs have been good, the set piece delivery has been right on the money, and the execution of the finishes has also been very good. But you would expect better from us as well. There has been a bit of a lack of focus from us, and maybe it's a little bit understandable with a tournament coming up in the next few weeks, but really poor defensively from the set pieces.
The second goal also comes from a set piece. I'm trying to spin this, Nia. Is it a positive? Can Wales work on this before they go to the Euros?
Yeah, because it's a closed part of the game, but it's such a big part of the game now. And like Danny said just before we came in, because we're not a team that scores loads of goals from open play, we need to be really resolute when we defend set pieces. It's an age-old trick. The Italians start offside, and they're always going to time their run so they get back onside before that ball actually comes in. But Wales, they're just so static in their zone. You've got to anticipate that you need to drop. You cannot let anybody get across the front of you. And my bugbear, I know I said it in live commentary, I'm not seeing any vocal leaders out there that are absolutely livid that they keep conceding early on from set pieces. They're lovely girls and they're fantastic players, and they've got leadership skills in quieter ways. But I want to see some real pride. And you can talk about tactics all you want, but actually Welsh sports teams are built on resilience and bite and grit, and that's been totally lacking for 45 minutes from Wales.
Yeah, 2-0 down. You were hoping that Wales were going to get themselves back into it with a goal. Wasn't to happen, was it? Because 3-0 down, we found ourselves.
Yeah, we just look really disjointed. You could argue the ball's gone out of play here, but you can see Josie Green is the right-sided centre-back. She's been dragged out of position. The centre midfielders, they have to come back in and protect those central zones. They have to fill the gaps that she's left. But again, we've conceded from a cross, from a delivery, and that's something that this formation builds upon. We redirect outside, we protect those central areas, but you've got to have that desire, that aggression to win the ball. We're not organised. You can see she's in between players. We don't have that communication, and that's something that we've worked on, and it's our strength. So we have to get back to correcting that.
You're itching to come in. I can see you. You're livid.
It's just that's Girelli's 58th international goal, and Woodham doesn't go across with the run because she can see it in her eye line. So she needs to go herself and maybe leave somebody back post, or she needs to scream at Gemma Evans, who's totally ball watching as a centre half. It's really hard.
Body position's really poor. She's got to open up. She's got to see the crosser. She's got to see the attacker. She never really looks once. Obviously, there's a little bit of luck with a deflection and it loops over, but she really needs to do better there, and that's just been symptomatic really of the first half. We've not been at the levels we were Friday, intensity-wise, focus-wise, and that's what happens when you play against good teams. They punish you.
We've seen 3. Do you want to see the 4th?
No, thanks.
Well, we're gonna have a look at it. This is just before half-time. Katie?
Yeah, again, it's another set piece, and we go back to that desire, that aggression. You know, we talk about zonal marking. That's not the problem. The problem is that desire to go and win the ball. We have strong centre-backs. We play with 3 centre-backs. We've got the presence, we've got the athletic ability. It's about putting your body on the line, which we do. We have done. But like Gab said, we're just not at the races today.
Zone doesn't mean you stay exactly where you are. I know about netball, and you wouldn't even do that in netball. In your zone, you've got to go and attack the ball that comes into your zone, and it's like statues in there. It's really poor, and Wilkinson will be livid.
Well, you are as well, Nia.
I don't know if it's coming across, but
I'm going to let you calm down. We might not have mentioned it, but the Euros less than a month away now. It's like we're all going on a school trip, isn't it? Who's driving the bus?
I'm at the back, I know that.
Well, more importantly, who is in Wales's group? What can we expect? Alex has all the details.
Wales, Euros, the group of death, so we're told. First up, the Netherlands in Lucerne. World ranking, 7th. Manager, Andries Jonker, former Bayern assistant and a big fan of attacking football. Their star, Viviane Miedema. Her right foot's like a Swiss watch, precise and expensive. Euro 2017 winners, World Cup finalists in 2019. These lots certainly know their way around a tournament. Up next, it's France in St. Gallen. Manager, Laurent Bonadé. Quietly clever, tactically sharp. Not a shouter, but you wouldn't cross him. Expect stars like Marie-Antoinette Katoto. Speed, strength, and very little mercy. And finally, England, the noisy neighbours. Euro 2022 champions, and yes, we know they won the Finalissima too. In the dugout, you'll find Serena Wiegmann. Calm, clinical, and a serial winner. Lauren Hemp, Alex Greenwood, Leah Williamson, all top class. The Red Bull will need to be roaring at its loudest to drown out the Lionesses. 3 giants, 1 underdog, but we quite like it that way. Group of death, bring it on.
Well, I'm not too sure after that first half performance. Group D, D for difficult, Nia?
Death.
I wasn't going to go there. There's always one. Go on. It is a tough one, though, isn't it?
It really is, and especially given this performance, it's a level up again from what Italy have got. And there's a period in that first half where Wales are just shadow pressing, and Italy cut through the central midfield in 1 or 2 passes, and that's the level that you're going to expect every single time. They only had 7 shots, and they've scored from 4 of them. It's that exact level that they're going to face in that group.
Yeah, and England are, well, they were 1-0 up at half-time against Spain, the world champions. I'm just wondering, Danny, do you think Wales will rotate depending on who they face, horses for courses, during that group? Have they got to be really savvy when it comes to trying to pick up points?
Yeah, I think we might see that. Obviously, the quality of teams that they kind of up against, there might be different systems needed, different personnel. I think a lot will kind of go off that first game. If we can get off to a good start, the confidence that will kind of give the team is going to be really important. But look, it's going to be really difficult. But you see tonight, I know the result doesn't matter maybe so much tonight, but there's certain things you've got to do right when you go into major tournaments and you're up against top teams. You've got to do the basics of the game right, i.e. defensively good from set pieces, organised, communication, all of those things. We haven't really seen that in this first half, but we've got a few weeks for to maybe iron that out, and hopefully we'll get it right when we're out there.
Well, I was going to say, sometimes a performance, a result like this, it can give you a little kick where you need it just before a major tournament. It happened to Wales 2016 with the men, didn't it?
Let's put a positive spin on this. Let's do that. I think, okay, we haven't had a great performance, but previous games that we have been building good performances. Is there an element of nerves? Is the Euros in the back of their minds already? We've got this far now, and you don't want to get injured, and they could be, those psychological factors could be playing a part. The groups, the games, they don't get any easier, so we've got to come back out fighting now, 45 minutes to show a bit of resilience, show a bit of character, and put things right.
I think it's a really good point from Katie, and that's what I was worried about when I saw the selection, is that it was going to be a reserve performance. They've seen Ingle maybe be 50-50, they've seen Rhiannon Roberts take a knock, Maisie Davis in the last game, O'Sullivan picked up a innocuous injury in training, so it could be that. I'm pretty concerned about Olivia Clark. We saw that she took a shiner in the game on Friday. She's gone down a couple of times with a neck injury. I'm hoping they're going through the concussion protocols. I'm sure they are, but really inexperienced keepers that we've got to draw upon.
And Laura
now.
O'Sullivan is already injured. She's got an ACL injury. We know she's out.
Exactly. So Safia Middleton-Patel, brilliant goalkeeper. We saw that against Sweden when it really mattered. She stood up, but actually looking at, I mentioned it beforehand, Poppy Soper and Kelly, there is a third spot up for grabs, and who knows when they might be called into action, but big ask now.
Yeah, we can see her warming up now, because to be fair, she came on and the first thing she had to do, Danny, was defend her goal.
Yeah, she did. A little bit of a strange one after what we saw happen with Olivia on Friday. I thought maybe she wouldn't have actually started the game, but it's a difficult one for the manager. It really is, going into this one, mentality-wise with the players off the back of Friday, knowing who maybe can go again, who's got knocks. Obviously, you want to be competitive in the game tonight as well. So maybe Rian might have maybe expected this a little bit as well, this kind of level of performance. So, look, it's not going to affect the team too much, this. If we can get the second half a little bit better, show a bit of fight. Of course, like I said, you know, the result isn't that important to us. We've got bigger fish to fry, but it's just not something that we've really been kind of used to, because we're normally so resolute and so organised. So hopefully second half we can perform a little bit better.
It looks like they're going to make changes. Elise Hughes there is warming up.
Yeah, well, she's a different type of player to Hannah Kane, isn't she? She's someone who will hold the ball up, bring other players into play, and because when we do play with Hannah Kane, we do look to go forward quite quickly, but sometimes that isn't always the best option. We want to secure the ball first when we win it and build into our possession game. So that's what Elise Hughes will allow us to do.
Well, we will confirm the changes when we get the detail. Of course, before we get to the Euros, we have 2 World Cup qualifiers for the men to look forward to. The first one against Liechtenstein in Cardiff on Friday.
Kazakhstan at home, and what an opportunity for Wales. Silver Thomas's cross, Matondo! That wins it.
A first away test for Craig Bellamy's Wales in this World Cup campaign.
Could be there for Brooks. Is it there? It is! Wales have rescued a point.
What a dramatic end to this World Cup qualifier.
Yeah, Craig Bellamy yet to lose a game as Wales manager. Join us for that one, 7:30, BBC One Wales. And good news for Bellamy, Danny. We have Ethan Ampadu back. We have Harry Wilson as well, who's been so important for Wales in recent months.
Yeah, he has. They're big players for us. You know, you need all of your players when you're trying to qualify for a major tournament. You know, the biggest headache for managers is when you get injuries to key players. Don't get me wrong, the players that have kind of come in done a fantastic job in their absence, but to have players of that quality available, you know, particularly now when you're going to be playing probably the best team or on paper in the group, Belgium now, is really important. So hopefully we can go and get 2 big results.
Yeah, they won 6 points. That's the message from Harry Wilson. It's good to hear, isn't it, that ambition?
Yeah, absolutely. And Bellamy's always been one to never use injuries to his squad as an excuse. I thought it was brilliant resilience from them to come back in the late stages against North Macedonia. David Brooks with a really important goal. And of course, Belgium have yet to play any game. So Wales have got a real chance to actually just cement themselves as the leaders of the group. And Belgium have got to come in and actually take it off them. We know the history of those 2 teams, but certainly Friday at home against Liechtenstein, let's pack it out and get ourselves off to a good start at the double camp.
Let's get back to the game that we're watching this evening then, and we can see Elise Hughes there. She is coming onto the pitch, a different kind of player, Katie. Are you expecting to see any more changes from those fringe players who are fighting for places?
Yeah, I think this is the perfect opportunity, isn't it? You know, we might face this kind of scenario when we're at the Euros. You might be down at half-time, facing this adversity. What can the subs bring on, whether it's defensive roles or to get us back into the game, inject some energy? So, yeah, players who can add value and bring impact.
They are 4-0 down, a real mountain to climb, but we really want to see a reaction now, don't we, Danny?
I'm sure that'll be the message in the dressing room at half-time. Like I said, it's not something we've been used to really, conceding this many goals. What was it, 6, I think, before this, and we've conceded 4 in the first half, so in the whole of the Nations League. So, yeah, not something we've been used to. A little bit of a lack of focus, really, particularly from the set pieces. Hopefully we can perform with a bit more kind of spirit and concentration in the second half and win the second half.
Well, we saw Rhian Wilkinson there with her little notepad. So let's go back to our commentary team, Gwenan and Simon.
Yes, thank you, Catherine. A few changes from both teams, 2 for Italy. Cantore off, Sofia off, and Mugamaschi and Giacinti on. And for Wales, Elise Hughes, as you mentioned, on for Carrie Jones. But at 4-0, Gwenan. Well, I suppose if you're going to lose heavily, it's best you do it now and not at Euro 2025, and that's the positive spin on it.
Yeah, it is, and look, let's draw inspiration from the men who lost 3-0 before going to the Euros in 2016, and we all know how that ended up, so let's hope we're the same.
Yeah, let's take that vantage point, but William Wilkinson won't be too pleased with what she saw in that first half as Hughes looks for her first touch. Take nothing away from Italy though, and it was a striker you admired, certainly some of the work from Girelli, the captain, and her brace of goals.
Yeah, just the movements, I think. You know, they're really trying to play in between lines. As I mentioned, you know, they run off the shoulders very well. That's the midfielders and the attackers, which make it more difficult then from a Welsh perspective. I just hope Wales can get more of a platform into the game, and I do think Elise Hughes can do that if the surface into her is good enough.
Lanari into Salvai. And here is Lanari again. There are 4 Serie A titles during her career, scoring tonight.
You can see already as well, just the way Wales are defending, they shape little modifications. There's more of like a 4-4-1-1 now, just tightening up 2 backs of 4, making it more narrow, more compact, making it difficult then for the Italian players to play through, making them go around us then, and as I said, just limiting the space available to them.
In many ways, Safia Middleton-Patel coming on to the pitch as well is almost like a new change for this second half, coming on right on the end of that first half. And there's a baptism of fire as Italy scored that 4th goal. Salvai, Lenzini, and back to Giuliani, who was rarely troubled in that first half. The message from William Wilkinson will be to try and get some positives at least. Here's Holland. Found space well. Cleared by Green. Green goes back into it. That's a late one. Free kick.
Yeah, rightly so. She just misjudged the flight of the ball, I'd say. As this current, I think she thinks she can... Ooh, do you know what? She's lucky there.
Well, the referee has called her across.
Wow, she hasn't even got a yellow card. She's very lucky. You see how high the look, I know Josie is a player. She hasn't got any intent. She's not a dirty player. She's physical, yes. But just needs to be careful.
Lanari. Ball towards that back post. Girelli again. Good fall for Santorini. Giuliani. Lanari couldn't quite collect it. Well, it was bouncing around that penalty area. It's still there. Well, it's put behind. It's an offside anyway. Hayley Ladd wasn't quite sure what was behind it. It was a wicked delivery.
Look, it's not often that you see Hayley Ladd. Oh, we'll go back to this. It's the intent from Gemma Evans. They have to get there first. Moves her feet quick enough. Make sure to put her body in the way, puts her head in the way. And then as we see it coming back in, it's very, very rare you see Hayley Ladd lose any type of control, which she did there. The way that she's reacting, she's not happy.
Holland getting hold of the loose ball. The ball from Giuliani wasn't quite on point. Italy recover. The slippers let in James. Green to Griffiths. Ladd. Just like to see Wales on the ball a little bit more. Sustained periods of possession, which is where they're at their best.
Yeah, I think Italy are making it difficult. You know, they're putting Wales under pressure. They're pressing how they're willing to. They're happy here now in their shape, but as soon as someone's got it, they're not willing to give time. Wales just need to be able to play a little bit quicker, as they have done in this sequence.
Kane. Holland's made a run. Trying to get behind Oliviero. Gives away the free kick. Well, it was a 50-50, and Kerry Holland had every right to compete for that.
Yeah, she did, and you know she's going to be physical anyway. I think to make it easier, could Kane have played it with just a little bit more pace on it? Because obviously, look, she's made the underlap, but she's the other side of Oliviero. So she just needs a little bit more pace on it to give her the best chance possible. But it's good defending as well from Oliviero. Look at the way she just uses her body. Gets that nearest arm across as well.
No. Oliviero actually took a blow to the face there, unfortunately. And a crowd of just under 6,000 here in Swansea tonight. And we've seen this Welsh team not just in Cardiff but in Wrexham, played in Llanelli in the past, so always nice to see the international roadshow in different places. They won't be pleased with the scoreline, that's for sure, but hopefully a better second half. Kane has looked for Holland. He's beaten Oliviero for pace. Holland, supported by James. Woodham's got up for it. Giuliani took out everything in her path. Free kick Wales. Rowe going down.
Well, it was a commanding punch, wasn't it, from Giuliani? She's coming out. She was sure she was going to get the ball and she was going to take any play up as a consequence, which is what happened to Lily Woods. I think she's a little bit winded. She was well to get on that back post. One of the requisites as a wing back. Somehow James just floats the ball in.
Well, Woodham was brave in their attempt to get the ball. And actually for Wales it's ended up as a free kick anyway because of Rachel Rowe, but and Woodham has actually gone across with Kerry Holland to stand over this free kick. Left footer or a right footer, in swinger or out swinger, what's the call, I wonder? Can Wales get a goal, at least something to cheer about? Kerry Holland's delivery. Green was there. Well, it was Evans actually who got the header in front of Green. They both went for it, but Evans' glancing header. I think Green might have received a blow to the face.
I'm so nervous every time anyone goes down at this point. Well, it's a good delivery in. And yeah, it's just Evans, just maybe needs to be a communication that I think she had more than, yeah, she was in her right to have it. It's just a flailing elbow that catches Josie Green, unintentional. She's under the challenge from Evans' header. You can see she was trying to do the same as Girelli in the first half, actually just glance it into that far corner.
Well, barring some club games to come, I think your nerves will be rested after this.
I'm going to switch my phone off.
So much at stake with the Euros round the corner, and there we see Evans' header. Of course, for Italy, what a boost this will be ahead of their European campaign. Mentioned earlier that they've got Belgium, Portugal, Spain. They start their campaign on July 3rd in Sion. Play Portugal in Geneva and Spain in Bern. Of course, Wales. It all starts on July the 5th for Rhian Wilkinson's team in Lucerne against the Netherlands, and France and England to follow in St Gallen. And elsewhere we're hearing that Sweden 5-1 up against Denmark, so certainly a goal-scoring end to this Group A4.
Well, Sweden, when it comes to the tournaments, they are massive. They seem to just be able to peak at the right time. So I think they'd be disappointed with the campaign that they've had so far, considering their history, their rankings. But they don't have to turn up in the big moments, as we see this evening.
You mentioned Spain, 2-1 up against England currently. As Kane tries to tackle Lanari, Salvi with the Bergamaschi. Ball threaded through to Kane, almost from Alice Griffiths. And here go Italy on the counter-attack. Well, luckily Ladd had the header to stop Giacinti. Here's the aforementioned Italian player. Girelli losing out, but Italy have Oliviero in space. Severini. Giuliano. Good play. Well done, Rachel Rowe. Free kick given away by Rowe, and I see that Italy are about to make another change. Julie Piga is coming on. And replacing Martina Lenzini. Piga, a Milan player, this her 5th cap. Actually born in Lyon, qualifies for Italy through her Italian father. She played for Lyon and Grenoble. Holland with a throw for Wales. Hughes. Pulled a play to Kane. Just comes to nothing as Severini did well. Kane recovers. Well, she certainly brought tenacity off the bench. We knew that she would bring that, Ellis Hughes.
I think she just brings more of a presence as well. She's able to occupy the centre-halves maybe a bit better. I personally think Hannah Kane is more suited out in more of a wider area myself, where she's given a little bit more space. She can run in behind rather than adopting the, as a number 9, majority of your play is back to goal, which can be difficult. And obviously the ability to spin in behind as well, but it's very rare that you get a player that can do both, and do both very well. And it's just knowing your strengths and weaknesses and being able to play off that then and play off your teammates.
Salvai. Giuliano. Salvai in the middle of that back three. Which now is Julie Piga involved. Lenari. Ball to the middle. Giacinti. Middle to Batal. Brought into action for the first real time in this second half.
I think that change in formation has helped.
It's a short pass and it puts James under pressure. Wales just about deal with it.
Yeah, I just think the two backs of four just being a little bit more compact, distances between them are closer. I think it's making it harder for Italy to try and play through. So they're looking, as I said, to stretch in behind. It's just about knowing that then as a defender, being able to drop, as you see, especially when there's no pressure on the ball.
Damaski with the cross. Severini's header. Didn't get it on target. And Kane helps it on its way towards Hughes. Build-up play was excellent. And now Rachel Rowe is away. Up against Salvai. Isolated, not too many options. But wins the throw. Or will she? Well, it's kept out by Italy. And I think it's just gone over the line. It is a Welsh throw. Not too many options on for Rachel Rowe.
No, but it came from Elise Hughes using her body very, very well under a lot of pressure to be able to get the ball to her. And then, as you said, she's got not a huge amount of options. I would have loved to have seen her just be aware of that to start with, and why not be confident, be positive, and go full speed. At Piga, you know, she's just come on, test her, go down the outside, and when you're in and around the area, then defenders are aware. Any tiny mistake, and they're probably going to be conceding a penalty.
An encouraging clap from Ria Wilkinson. Pointing out as well, Wales haven't won a game really since that famous victory out in the Republic of Ireland against Dublin. So no wins in 2025 so far. I think you can use these statistics in whatever way you want, because we always knew it was going to be a test in this top tier. Wins were going to be hard to come by anyway. Let's not forget the 2 draws in Sweden. Giacinti. Yeah, it was about a yard off.
Yeah, she's gone just a little bit too early. So I was just trying to scroll through the results in my little notepad. And if I'm right here, Wales haven't conceded 4 or more. They've only conceded 4 or more bar this evening. 4 times in the last 8 to 9 games.
Rowe, Lenari with the trip, and possibly the yellow card for it. Not that she could have too many complaints.
But I think it's just another one of those professional fouls that you know you're under pressure and you have to commit more than anything. It's just quick feet, just the way look. And it's the way Rachel Rowe just gets under the ball to change the angle. I think if she keeps that flat, Lenari might be able to intercept. So just a little chip over the top just to make it more difficult.
Been an international since 2013, Elena Lenari. 4 league titles, 4 Italian Cups, 2 Super Cups as well. Vastly experienced campaigner. Holland hasn't got the angle on the ball here. It's a very central free kick. Just played towards the edge of the penalty area. Rowan up for it. Griffiths' header. Evans. They're all queuing up. Kane. Didn't fall for anyone in a red shirt. Woodham. Tough tackle. And a foul.
Again, I think she had to do it, and she was aware that if the Italians broke, they had numbers. Just see the replay. So Elise Hughes gets that first contact. Alice Griffiths knocks it on. And just can that final touch then be good enough? That layoff. That's just a solid Cardiff tackle, that is. I think Lily Woodham would say.
Looking like a solid Cardiff tackle in Swansea as well. Great to be in West Wales for this final game before the Euros. As the ball goes back to Giuliani. Higa to Salvai. Lenari. In fairness, when you're 4-0 up, you don't have to do much in a second half, do you? In Italy have perhaps taken their foot off the pedal a little bit, which you would expect.
Yeah, when you're in possession in those areas as well, especially when you're winning and you're comfortable, but you're trying to pull a player out. So that's why, you know, the tempo is quite slow. They're waiting for one of the Wales players to bite, and then when they do, he's having the bravery then to play around them.
Holland. James. The top for Kane. He'll keep it in. First time ball to Holland. Difficulty controlling that. The pace of the cross. Lad back to Middleton Patel. Well, a goal would give everyone a boost after what happened in that first half.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be some positives. Wales have gone through 20 minutes in South without conceding. As we mentioned, maybe that being a negative. Start of halves in the first and second, obviously. But they want to be able to show some intent now in an attacking perspective. They haven't really created, you know, a couple of occasions that Giuliani's maybe touched the ball has been just comfortable saves.
Girelli putting pressure on Middleton Patel. He's only got 2 goals in this game and is the 3rd of the all-time list of Italian goal scorers for the women's team. Holland get the ball off Oliviero, a bit too eager to try and get the ball off Oliviero.
It was better play from Wales, actually, the build-up. Just a heavy touch in the end. She's close to the ball, but in those situations you're never really going to get the decision for you. Just interesting to see obviously a few of the Wales substitutes warming up. Ella Powell, Lois Joel, Fishlock.
Well, if anyone can inspire a Welsh team to a bit of a comeback, even from 4-0 down, I dare say it would be Jess Fishlock, whose minutes are being managed at the moment ahead of the Euros. Only recently herself returning from injury, Gwenan.
Yeah, and rightly so. I think you do have to wrap someone of her quality up in bubbles. Just think, you know, she's played, what, 30 minutes prior to Friday evening in the last 7-8 weeks, so it's just about managing a hamstring injury as well. They can be really tricky to come back from.
See the button on the screen, Italy preparing to make another change. In the meantime, it's Kane who's away and has space. Hughes to her left, goes in alone, Hannah Kane. Corner ball.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see your attacking players driving at the defence. As a defender, you do not like to be backpedaling, seeing a fast player coming at them. It's just about manipulating the ball there. Kerry Holland's run maybe slightly helps her to get half a yard of space. Be positive. That's what Wales need to do to be able to get back in the game.
It's Woodham this time, in swinging corner. Referee blows a whistle, just checking on the pushing and shoving inside that 6-yard area. She's having a word with Giuliani. Which usually the keepers who get the benefit of the doubt in those sorts of positions. Yes, so you would agree with that, Gwenan, as a striker?
They certainly do. Very frustrating.
Well, Woodham put this right under the nose of Giuliani, with an in-swinger here. Woodham's corner towards that back post, and the keeper did well. Backpedaling, Laura Giuliani, even though she's lost her footing, she's released Giacinti, and well done Middleton Patel, well read.
Yeah, I think that's a tactic they've definitely looked at, maybe from reviewing the footage, because they've gone along on a couple of occasions and had numbers. That's very good reading of the game. Great starting position from Middleton Patel. Just be aware of the situation, and no messing as well, don't take any chances.
So a change for Italy, and it's the captain who's been denied a hat-trick with this substitution, Girelli, who took her head as well, in fairness. Cambiaghi coming on in her place. But Girelli with 2 excellent headers, and you can see Linari there with the captain's armband, scorer of the first goal. Was captain against Sweden on Friday night, or in Parma against Sweden. Well, no disputing the decisions of the Greek referee tonight. We had a bit of controversy out in Denmark, didn't we, with a goal that wasn't, but thankfully no such controversy tonight. From an Italian point of view, they have been clinical, decisive on 4 occasions. Giacinti. Here's James. Green. Back to Middleton Patel. Evans. We argue with their first touch. Higa. And here is Salvai. Well, Italy have a tough group in the Euros, as we mentioned. Belgium, Portugal, Spain. I wonder how they'll fare if they're as clinical as they are, or have been tonight. And they could do very well.
Yeah, I think Spain are obviously favourites in that group, aren't they? They've beaten England, goal behind this evening to win 2-1. I think they'll definitely be eyeing that second spot.
Bergamaschi. Good cross into Severini. Important header. And Kane away for Wales. It was a wicked delivery from Bergamaschi. Griffiths. James.
What Italy do well as well, they press, obviously, when you're chasing, you know, the ball on chasing a player, normally got someone coming to your goal side, as you say, so you're nearest to your own goal. But they also defend from the front really, really well. They pinch quite a few balls in that area, doubling up or just coming from an attacking position.
Caruso may go for goal here, and did so. It's high and wide. Well, when you're 4-0 up, you can afford to have chances like that.
Yeah, when you're 4-0 up and when the defence is backing off you and backing off you and giving you space, you saw in the first half as well. It's difficult because Gemma Evans doesn't know where to go, because obviously she's got a player on the further side as well. And if she comes out too early, it's going to be, the ball's going to be slipped into her. But from an attacking perspective, if you're given that space, you're definitely going to pull the trigger.
Griffiths finds Green in space. Holland closed down by Oliviero. James. Well, if in doubt, bring on Jess. And I don't think she'll be the only change, as we can see there, Gwenan.
No, it looks like Esther Morgan and Lois Joel preparing to come on as well.
All important game time, all important minutes before Euro 2025. Joel and Morgan would probably, you would suspect, be on that plane, but haven't always been first-team regulars, but certainly important members of Rhian Wilkinson's squad.
Yeah, and it can be difficult when you're getting 15 minutes and it takes a little bit of time to get into the pace of the game at international level as well. But you can't afford that time. You know, you have to be able to be ready from the get-go. And yeah, maybe they haven't had the huge amount of opportunities, but they'll certainly be looking to have a really strong 15-20 minutes now.
Holland denied the pass to Kane by Lenari. Green. Griffiths. Evans. Under pressure from Bergamaschi. Rowe really loves those diagonal balls, and that's a difficult one for Holland to deal with, but it was on target. But Italy are in here. Oliviero through the middle, cutting pass. Kambiagi ran out of room in the end, mainly thanks to Gemma Evans.
Yeah, Gemma Evans just did enough. I think if the pass went in earlier, if I'm totally honest, Gemma Evans would have been stuck. Just see there the way she's ran off her again. She just delayed the pass slightly, gave a fraction of time for Gemma Evans just to get back and do enough to concede the corner.
Corner kick to be taken by Giuliano. No one surrounding Middleton Patel here, but it's a short corner to Oliviero. Goes to that back post. Lenari was waiting for it. Touch there. Aaron James. Caruso. Lenari. Well, it's a goal kick and no harm done. I think Salvai, as a centre-back inside that penalty area, wasn't overly confident to get that cross in. But a triple change for Wales, Gwenan Harris.
Yeah, opportunities, look, as we said, for Morgan and Joel, and just that experience, that presence on the pitch. Try and get Wales back in. The game is gone, but just to get a little foothold and get a goal, get something on the scoreboard.
Griffiths. Kane over the top. Well read by Giuliani. Complete awareness of what was around her. A lot of running tonight, Hannah Kane. Chasing a lot of the lost causes.
Yeah, I think sometimes you've got to be able to do that as well. Just make unselfish movements and runs, and even if it's just pulling players out of positions or dragging them into positions they don't want to, obviously that's going to lead to fatigue later on in the game.
Giacinti's made a decent run here in Middleton Patel. Read the bounce well, rolls it to Green. Kane. Dispossessed by Oliviero. Giuliano. Chip ball towards Cambiaghi. And it goes Giacetti. It was a clever little ball from Severini.
Yeah, it was a delicate little chip, wasn't it? You see exactly what she's trying to do. Just benched offside for me as well.
And here come the changes for Wales. Josie Green among those coming off. And Esther Morgan on in her place of Hearts. Alice Griffiths started in that midfield position, vacated by Hayley Laird after her switch to defence, and listen to the roars for Jess Fishlock.
I was thinking exactly the same there. You know, and again, that's what it's about as well, isn't it? We want to be, you know, not talking about the development of the game constantly, but we have to be realistic, and the fact that there's, what, just under 6,000 here this evening, and for the majority of those youngsters that have come, they've come because they want to see players like Fishlock, so having the opportunity to see her live is a big moment for them.
And a changing goal. It's Durante on for Giuliani. Francesca Durante. Oliviero. Of course, this is an Italian side without Barbara Bonansea in the 11. Who was the goal scorer at Monza against Wales back in February. Giacinti wins the free kick.
6-1, half of the other there. I think she had Ladd's shirt to start with, but now you can see the elbow across Giacinti's face. Just interesting, just watching Fishlock and the way that she's talking, she's leading it.
Ball towards Giacinti. Got elevation and power on the header.
Yeah, just going back, just the body language. Fishlock just leading, just telling people where she wants people to be, and that's what you need. You need that presence, that experience, that leadership.
Kane chasing down Salvai. Holland chasing down the goalkeeper, Durante. Well, early nerves from the new goalkeeper, perhaps. Luckily for her, she recovered. Here's Fishlock. Holland again. Woodham switches it to James. Morgan. The cross from Morgan has turned into a shot, and at least that will give Durante a bit of confidence after that initial slip.
Ooh, I bet her heart was in her mouth there. As you see the first touch here, she's backpedaling, she takes the touch and then just loses her footing, maybe the wrong footwear. I've seen a couple of the players actually just lose their footing, so I think see the ground is watered beforehand just to make it a bit more zippy, so keeping possession.
Wales almost had the Swansea groundsman to thank for that. Kane, spinning, deflecting shot. Holland, Durante's come to collect. She wasn't fouled. Didn't look all that convincing either. Ladd stopping the Italian attack. Well, finally something for Wales to exploit, perhaps, the new goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think she did well.
Shaky.
Yeah, I think she did well there. Actually, she came out, she took her own player out.
If in doubt.
But that is a tactic. You notice goalkeepers a little bit shaky from certain areas. You've got to bombard them.
Holland in towards Lois Joel, comes out to Fishlock. Snatched at it. And she is capable, as we all know, from that sort of range.
Yes, it surprised me actually that she does snatch at it, because obviously I think she just thinks it's bouncing up lovely for her, but again maybe the zip on the surface just caught her a little bit higher, obviously connects off her shin then, but you know, we've seen her score many goals from that distance, haven't we? and those areas, those volleys, those half volleys, which are technically one of the hardest skills to be able to do in the game.
Ball hit the referee, so play has to stop. Italy were in possession.
She needs some head-in practice, I think. Just learn the right technique.
It's not to make too many controversial calls, the Greek referee tonight. Fishlock spots the keeper off her line. Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant! What is there left to say about Jess Fishlock? And finally, something for this Swansea crowd to cheer. That's what we want to see before Euro 2025. There is only one Jess Fishlock.
Well, I said about the role, you know, about the youngsters coming here wanting to watch their heroes, and what it's like for them. You see, just as soon as she picks or she intercepts it, a quick look up, she backs herself technically, and the weight on it just comes off the crossbar as well. They always look a bit better when they come off the crossbar. But it's her vision, you know, 99% of players would just keep driving with that. Her vision, why not? Best goal of the game.
Brilliant goal from a brilliant footballer. And how many times have we said that? Well, that was worth the entrance fee alone. Yes, it's a defeat for Wales, but this Swansea crowd, these youngsters will remember that goal for a long time, I'm sure. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that's inspired Wales for Kane. Hughes in there. Isn't it amazing? A moment of individual brilliance can lift a crowd, it can lift an atmosphere, even when you're 4-1 down.
Yeah, I think we all needed something positive, didn't we? And we would have taken any type of goal. But when you score a goal like that, even just watching the reaction of Wilkinson, just turned around as if, well, who else? Who else is going to score a goal like that? Just watch this, just glance up there, just a quick glance just to check. And it's the way she comes underneath the ball. Anybody learning wanting to chip it, the way her foot stops them. When you're driving a ball or you're shooting with a bit of power, you follow through. It's the way that she stops, she cuts underneath it.
And a smile from the coach as well. Well, that's the farewell that we wanted to see before Switzerland. Not necessarily the scoreline, but the brilliance of Jess Fishlock.
Yeah, it's the little things as well, Simon, because you said, you know, what will Wales be wanted to do in the second half? Win the second half? Well, they currently are. It's about those little battles, right? Okay, horrendous first half, some awful defending errors and goals conceded. But right, you've got to park that now. You've got to move on because the game's constantly moving. Can you learn from that? Can you keep going? Which they have done in the second half.
James Caruso. Severini back to Solvay. Well, we talked about Wales winning the second half. You know, we try desperately, don't we, to look for positives ahead of the Euros, but
yeah, exactly. Look, we talked about the Sweden game on the men's, built up for the Euro 2016, and hopefully it's just a little bit of jitters leading into that after what's been a good campaign up till this evening.
Bergamaschi with the effort. Well wide. Snatched at it, really. It was Hayley Ladd who got the foot in.
Yeah, she's just leaning back there, that's why there's so much height on it.
Could learn a thing or two from Fishlock, I think. As Kane commits the foul and gives away the free kick. Free kick, quickly taken by Giuliano. Salvi. Linari. Was looking for Caruso, but only found Middleton Patel. Well, we talk about selection issues that Ryan Wilkinson has. Actually, hold your thought on that, because Kerry Holland has brought in Ellis Hughes. And of course, Fishlock would be one of the first names on the team sheet for Euro 2025. But it's that sort of moment that you probably need in a big major tournament, don't you? That brilliance, that inspiration.
Yeah, big moments from big players. Big players bring big moments.
Bergamaschi is free. Up against Woodham. Played it to Cambiaghi. Evans taking no risks. Woodham. James. Hit the referee. She's seen a lot of the ball tonight, the referee.
I know, I feel sorry for him.
And of course, the rules these days, if it strikes the referee, then the play has to stop. And it will be a drop ball for Wales. And not one of those old drop balls either, when you would kick the shins out of the
wasn't a
opponent.
fan of them. I stay well away from them. I'd react with the second ball.
And a chip pass goes out for a goal kick, eh? I mean, there's no doubt that Italy, at 4-0 up, have approached this second half in a much different way than they did the first, but I think if there are positives to take, it will be not just the Fishlock goal, but Wales have tightened up a bit when they looked leaky at the back in that first half.
Yeah, I think learning from your mistakes, being able to adapt, being able to solve those problems. Because at the end of the day, Liam Wilkinson's putting the players out there, but when they're on the pitch, it's up to the players to take responsibility. And if they see something, they have to be able to adapt. Obviously, they need leadership and guidance from Wilkinson, but the players need to be able to do that themselves also. And I think we have seen an improvement in that sense in the second half.
Middleton Patel. Yeah, we're still awaiting the injury news of both Maisie Davis, Rhiannon Roberts and Sophie Ingle as well. So Maisie Davis finished the evening in Denmark on crutches, so we certainly hope for better news on her scan, which we're waiting the results for, than perhaps as it looked quite serious, but we'll have our fingers crossed. Rhiannon Roberts' fitness assessment is ongoing, and we know that Sophie Ingle's back in training.
Yeah, and obviously we hope for all three of them to be able to make it. We're not sure what the results are at the moment. Should be devastated for any of them not to be there. I think Maisie's had a great campaign, you know, coming in, really stamping her mark, to be honest, and putting her hand up. So she's only young, plenty of things to improve on, but just her composure, her awareness, her reading of the game, very, very impressive. She's got a really bright future ahead of her.
Giuliani. Linari. Stand-in captain for Italy. And one of the goal scorers tonight. Caruso on the turn. Beats Fishlock. Looks up and sees Bergamaschi. Cambiaghi waiting in the middle. Severini! Good save, Middleton Patel.
Yeah, it was far too easy for Italy to work that space. Just see Lilywood in a little bit caught out position as it comes back. I think, you know, it's quite a comfortable save in the end in terms of the height of it for Middleton Patel. An acrobatic save in the end, but it was fairly close to it, wasn't it?
Could be the last corner for Italy, this. We're into 3 minutes of added time. Giuliano floats it towards that back post. Caruso! Well, that would have been something else. we've applauded the goal from Jess Fishlock, but that would have been absolutely spectacular.
I was thinking the exact same thing. If she connected with that, then we would have a real tough decision on goal of the game. Technically really hard to do as the ball's travelling across there, be able to keep your body over the ball.
Fishlock tried the through ball for Holland. Good interception in the end by Piga. Brings it out from defence, and Giacinti has beaten Evans for pace. Was offside.
I think that was quite close actually. When you're trying to run in behind like that, you have to run across the line first to make the movement sideways before you make the run forward. Yeah, I thought so. She's quite unlucky, to be honest, there.
Hughes with a flick on. Chased up by Holland. Bergamaschi back to Giuliani. Olivieri under pressure from Joel. Oh, just couldn't keep it in. Goal kick. Another impact player for Rhian Wilkinson. It was Joel.
You know, she said that, didn't she? You know, the team that starts will be the one that finishes. The importance of the subs, the impact players, they call them now, are huge in games. You need to be able to have different options, to be able to adjust and adapt throughout games, and it's important then that the squads, the depth of the squad, you know, highlights that really, that you've got different options, different strengths.
Fishlock. Woodham, Fishlock. Giacinti picks up the loose ball. Esther Morgan has to come inside to close her down. Oliviero is free. And a poor touch lets in Lois Joel. And luckily for Wales, it ends up in a free kick. Well, we hope that Ingle and Roberts will be available. Tonight, it's defeat for Wales. 4 goals from Italy in the first half, but despite the brilliance of Jess Fishlock from long range, it is defeat for Wales. Hopefully, Rhian Wilkinson's side will get this out of their system before Euro 2025. Next stop, Switzerland. But in Swansea, it is finished here this evening. Wales 1, Italy 4.
It is a disappointing night, isn't it, for Wales? But let's look at the positives. Danny, you said at half-time they've got to win this second half. They did, 1-0.
Yeah, good reaction. I think second half was better. Intensity was better. Obviously, Rhian Wilkinson making some changes as well, a bit more energy into the team. And I'm sure that would have been a message at half-time from the manager. Let's kind of try and win this second half or not concede another goal. And it was better, so look, I think results-wise, it would have been nice to obviously get our first win in the Nations League. Would have been nice to obviously send the fans home happy. We weren't quite able to do that, but for me, that Jess Fishlock goal has just wiped everything else out for me. That was worth the admission price on its own. So yeah, much better second half, but yeah, disappointing first.
It is a fantastic goal, isn't it? It's good to see Jess Fishlock back playing, getting minutes under her belt.
Yeah, brilliant. As we know, she's been struggling with a hamstring injury this season. It's good for her that actually over in the States they're just coming into it, so she'll have a chance to build up some more fitness, match fitness with Seattle Reign, but that is absolutely world class. And you know, I know a couple of people, or a few people, have travelled down from North Wales for this game, booked days off work. Shout out to Sharon in Gwersall Garage. She told me she couldn't wait to come down, and they will be so chuffed, you're right, to see a player like Jess Fishlock in the flesh and to come on and score a goal like that. The technique, the vision to even pull it off, the bravery to pull it off, and then to roar the crowd up. It was a different game after that. And if anybody's questioning whether you should, what part she's still got to play in this team, absolutely, that is what she's there for. World class, absolute goat, Gabber in the right.
Thanks for that translation. But the damage was done in that first half. And you were telling me, Katie, actually, after a game like that, lessons will be learned. It can be valuable for a player to look back on that performance and look at what they need to improve going forward.
Yeah, you know, tough conversations will happen now, and it's about taking accountability, they'll look back, they'll analyse their roles and where the goals come from. But I agree with what Gwennon said in comms. You've got to park this now. We can't dwell on it too much. We have 3 tough games to look forward to, and let's not forget, we're at our first major tournament. So it's lots of positives, and there's lots of positives to take as well from this Nations League. So it's important that we don't dwell too much and we just look forward.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to maybe overanalyse this too much as well. It's just one result which was a little bit meaningless really tonight. Would have been nice to send the fans home happy. We weren't able to do that. But if you look at the body of work of this team over a long period now, more often than kind of not, it's been very, very positive, very, very consistent. And we are, in a few weeks' time, going to be at Switzerland at a major tournament. So let's not forget that.
And they look disappointed. They will not want to feel like this in a few weeks' time at a major tournament.
No, they won't. They'd rather it come now than against the Netherlands, for sure. And I think just reading the body language of the players in the huddle with Rianne Wilkinson, she's trying to say, when you approach a game like that for 45 minutes, you get punished, and how different you can paint the story, actually, when you approach it differently in the second half. She said, when we work together and the crowd gets behind us, we're a totally different squad. I think in terms of selection, some of them will be struggling for sleep tonight, thinking, oh my gosh, have I played myself out of it? I think people like Middleton Patel from the back and Elise Hughes at the top have very much put their hand up, not just for slots on the plane, but actually starting positions as well.
Yeah, and that's a massive positive to take from this game. Saf comes in, she's so composed on the ball, she builds up a possession game from her, and just having that no fear factor, she's a great addition to this team, and obviously looking forward for future generations. But I think she does give Wilkinson a bit of a headache.
Headaches that we like before heading to a major tournament. Thank you very much for your company this evening. Do remember, we are back Friday night as the men have their World Cup qualifier against Liechtenstein. But as for Wales women, well, they will have a training camp now in Portugal before they head to Switzerland. And yes, we would have loved a win here this evening, but I hope you will join us on this historic journey. Major tournaments, they don't come often, do they, for the men or the women? It is an opportunity for us all to be together stronger. We'll see you in Switzerland. Good night, Nostar.
It's in. Holland looking for Jones. It's a dangerous one. Now it's 2-0. Finds space to shoot. It's a Kattori. It is 4. Spots the keeper off the line. Oh, brilliant.